Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. I hope everybody had a great day. The market did. It was nice and green, so we're looking at that. MLGO popped up big time. IMTE, VVPR. I mean, just a bunch of them we had on our list and have gone over and said they were going to be moving, and a bunch of other ones getting set up. So let's go ahead, take a look and see what's going to be happening tomorrow, because I think it's going to be moving. And like I said, Friday we ready for some poppers. I could see some setting up. The market was looking good as it did today. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice, so always do your due diligence. And so let's go ahead, check out the market. Look at that greenness right there. Pretty color green. And let's go ahead and just blast through our list. OCEA, very popular right here. People looking at this one. It did move a little bit today. It was running up, I think, early this morning, wasn't it? Early, I believe so, if I remember correctly. And it was over 7.5 cents right there. So it didn't look too bad as it was getting up to that 20. So there you go, and we'll see what it can do tomorrow. Just a little flat look right there, and again, just hitting that 20. So we'll see if it can keep that momentum right there. It did have 17 million in volume, so it was moving along with some volume. So we'll keep an eye on our OCEA and see if it can get moving some more. And our APDN, you know, we're early with this, and everyone's talking about this guy, and rightfully so. Look at this setup off that split right there. I mean, that's a beauty right there, guys. And it was moving around. That bottom today was pretty, I'll tell you that. It was in the 180 area. I actually doubled up my position down there. It was a beauty. And what was it down to the other day? Like 163, I remember, and 170. So yeah, that 180, and we'll look and see if it can dip a little tomorrow. But I don't know. It might start rocking and rolling, guys. So keep your eye on that APDN, and I know we're all watching that one as well. So I would be watching that. And here you go with your MLGO, because we were looking at this thing, and it did get crazy right there. So let's take a look and see what it did exactly. It went like bonkers, I know that, and honestly, it looks like it's going to run again tomorrow morning. I think it pulled back a little bit in the after hours, but nothing crazy. It went 243 to 1687. It's at 1240, and that's where it was when it closed. And again, it is up in the top up here, and I would look at that tomorrow. Look at that thing, has so much room to run. I mean, it could go anywhere here. So keep an eye on MLGO. We've watched them run like crazy, and that one could be doing it again tomorrow for MLGO. So that might have a momentum play right there. And our WINT, another one we went over last night, said keep an eye on it to try to curl back up and try to get out of this basement. It was trying to at one point today. WINT right here. You could see it crossing the 20. And another one not looking bad right there. So keep an eye on this. 170 to 261. It did close back at 176. And we'll see if it can keep it. It might just need a little more time to set up right here. So we'll be keeping an eye on this WINT. Good old Wint right there. And let's see what our HOLO was doing. HOLO was moving up again this morning. And another one we were looking at last night, saying it could get into this channel right here. And that's what you want to see. And here we go at HOLO. So yeah, it should try to get moving towards that 132 area. So I would keep an eye on that to try to run up a little bit. And Clue was down big time today. I just put it on there just to see if it could have a dip and rip. But it was trying to move on Friday, and now today it was dipping down hard. We'll see what it wants to do tomorrow. Maybe we'll throw it off the list, because it was trying to set up there Friday and then took a nice dip today. So we'll just take a look at it, see what it can do there. What was that other one? LICN. That one dipped down a little bit, and it was just kind of bottoming out down here for LICN. And yeah, we'll take a look. It is at that bottom, so I'll look at them tomorrow and see what's up with them. UOKA, this thing is setting up, guys, like we keep saying. I mean, you could see it setting up, and it might pop off tomorrow. So I would definitely keep an eye on this UOKA. It was running a little bit today. It opened up higher. That's right. It opened up in that 18, and then it came down into the 17s. But again, still looking good for UOKA. And That one does have a lot of pop-ups there. As you can see, we've talked about it before. So keep your eye on that tomorrow. So there are a bunch of them, guys, setting up, and that looked pretty. And how about RGC? It ran up early this morning because we talked about it early, and it was like in the 60s. Yeah, $67. It got up in the 70s, 71, and it closed all the way down to 42. So I didn't even realize it was pulling back, but that's a big old pullback there. And if it continues, it's going to be a huge pullback. We'll see if it can get stuck up in the top right there, but I'm not so sure. So we will look at RGC and see what it wants to do tomorrow. But again, the thing ran way up there today, and it's run higher than I thought it was going to run. So that was a big, massive hit right there. And HEPA right here, HEPA, let's take a look at it. And let's see, I know it reverse split the other day on the 18th, and it's just kind of been running flat right here with a little bit of pullback crossed up. Let's look at it. I have to put this on our category of the recent reverse splits, trying to curl up. And another one, I'm telling you, these things are looking really good after the reverse split. So we've been watching this one as well, and I think this is trying to get set up. It's not showing you that it exactly wants to pop, but tomorrow it might start to curl back up. So we'll look at HEPA as well. And that's HEPA, and that's not looking bad. And LAC, that Lithium Americas Corp right here, this is just pulling back to get set up in that channel. And again, we had it running up over here, and it's been solid, honestly, and it's going to continue to stay solid, LAC. So just watch it. You might have some pullback into the 280s right there, and then even a little bit lower. But it will be getting set up. And again, watch these patterns as it comes back to the MACD. You know, it's going to curl up when it rolls off of there, and that's all you're really looking at. It's not a really not hard of a pattern to keep up on. And AIM right here, AIM, look at this thing curling up and looking better. So it does look like it's trying to aim up a little bit more. Look at that thing, 13 up to 14. It closed in the 13s, but looks way better to get up here into the 15s. And then we'll see. I think it might try to get up over here and actually have a little pop off. We'll see, even maybe change around. We know this is a biotech company that has a lot of stuff going on as well. And let's see, I guess they reported their quarter four loss or something. You know, I don't even pay attention to any of that stuff. But yeah, chart's not looking bad. That's all I worry about. And that is AIM and OCGN. Another one we followed all the way down here, and look at us, keeps running up for us, huh? It's going to hit that 50 tomorrow, and we'll keep an eye on it. But like I keep telling you guys, this thing may get turned around and be looking really good. We knew the bottom was right in here. Even if you caught it in here on the way up, you're at 64 cents. You're cruising along, and like I said, it could get up to that 67. And honestly, it looks like it could get really cruising. So keep an eye on this OCGN. It's doing exactly what we wanted it to do, and there you go. That's why we followed it down there. And LRHC, here you go with this one. It was trying to move over that 20 today. I was looking at it earlier, and I don't know how it closed though. Right on that 20, actually. It was, like I said, look at it. It was trying to get over there at one point. I know that. And, sorry. But yeah, it was trying to get over that 20. It opened at 21, got up to that 22, and you're right there. And we'll see if it can get back over it again tomorrow with a little momentum. What did it have in volume? Just 350,000. So we'll see. But if not, it'll have to get like cruising up here and then wait for that to set up, and then it could really be a good one. So LRHC could still be getting set up to be good down the road as well. And how about Rhyme right here? Another one. This one did not revert. Did this reverse split? I forget. It doesn't say it. Yeah, I thought it did recently on February. So back there. Okay. Now it doesn't even show. I thought it did reverse split. But anyway, who cares? And anyway, it's setting up, guys. And I would keep an eye on Rhyme tomorrow. Look at that thing. I know we were looking at it last night and like to try to run up, start setting up the run up. And it did exactly that today, 221 to 256, and closed at that 250. So there you go with Rhyme, and that was looking good last night, I do remember. And so keep an eye on good old RIME, and I'm pretty sure we definitely were talking about it last night. And that's your Rhyme right there. And let's see what else is going on in the market and what's going to be a fresh popper right here. COEP, we've looked at this. And again, I think you might have a little bit of pullback down here. I don't think it's crossing through that MACD. Might be coming back down. keep an eye on it, but that's just the way it looks right there, and I'm sure that's going to say the same thing. Yeah, it looks like it's getting pushed down right there for COEP, and it did have that nice run up here and now getting pushed down, so we'll have to take a look at that later. And hit down here just keeps on taking a little hit at a time, but we'll see if that, look at that thing, maybe that was the bottom today. I took a look at it and I said, well, we got to make sure that's the bottom, but it is trying to curl back up and look much better than when it was pulling back there. So hit is one to just keep an eye on right there, see what it wants to do as far as tomorrow, and then we can go from there on that, because that is getting set up relatively close. And TTD, remember we were talking about this bad boy down here at the bottom off of this line. And again, I remember looking at it here, it had that weird look. I said it was getting set up, and then it obviously pulled back that day, and we kind of knew that was the bottom, and it was looking good. And there you go with Trade Desk, and that is looking good moving up here, and we'll see that thing get up here to that 62.50 area, I'm sure. And let's see, it might even blast right through it, get through that channel right there. So TTD not looking bad, and we kind of expected that one to start moving right there. So another one to keep an eye on. And how about that Lockheed Martin with that big old dip yesterday? And like I said last night, just keep an eye on it for that any kind of bounce back, because anytime these things have that kind of dip, you can see it bounce. What it do? 438, and then it opened at 438. It came down to 424 and closed at 430, or came down to 424 and closed at 434. And yeah, I would say that's a pretty good dip, and I think Lockheed Martin might be dipping down some more. So we'll have to watch this thing. Maybe you might want to put it down and short that bad boy down, because that's what it looks like right there, LMT. So yeah, I guess that losing that $20 billion contract right there definitely didn't help Lockheed Martin. Just looking at the quick news right there, and that's about how much news I'll look at it, and I didn't see anything. So LMT right there, Lockheed Martin, but we're looking at it to maybe pull back, I think. And WTG, Newton Goff, used to be Sax Parente, getting set up off a split. Another one, look at it hitting this line right here. Let's look at it tomorrow. I don't think it's ready. I think it wanted to wait for this, so it might kind of pull back. Let me see what it's doing right here. NWTG, I can't even look at these things. NWTG, there you go. Newton Golf Company. Sorry, confusing everybody. Glad you guys can look at it now. I can only imagine how confusing it was before when you were just listening. So I'm glad you get to see all the charts and me actually go through and see what it looks like. And yeah, honestly, not looking bad. It should try to get through there tomorrow. It had less than 1 million right there in volume. And again, even though they crossed through, it doesn't necessarily mean it wants to start running. I still think it might wait. And that would be a much better setup if it just kind of curls up a little bit, meets up with this trend line, gets over there and gets set up. That might be much better for it. So we will take a look at that one. NWTG, we've been watching it, so that's probably what you want to see. And this thing, I think, is finally getting ready right here. MRM, guys. This thing was looking good. We were just watching it pull back. It looks like Friday was that bottom right there. Keep an eye on it. 45 to 47. It came back, 44 to 45, and then it closed at that 44. So opened and closed at the same spot, but looking a little better right there. So keep an eye on that one. I'll see what it wants to do tomorrow, and I'll keep an eye on that one, because again, that one could be a really good setup right there, just the way that's looking, and a pull back and try to come out of the basement right there. So we will keep an eye on MRM as well. And that top ship right here was up some more. Look at this thing. Remember I was saying this? We accidentally clicked on this thing and it looked great, and then there you go. So remember we were looking at it last night. It looked like Pac-Man. I was watching it today, and I said, wow, that thing, it actually gapped up. I didn't go over it this morning, but it closed at 621 Friday. We were looking at it last night talking about Pac-Man, and yeah, it opened up at 640 but then pulled back. So but it's still up higher. It's at 630 39, so it pulled back and then went back up there. And again, not looking bad. It was an interesting look. That's why I was talking about it. And you don't see them very often like that, but there you go. And it does look like it's going to try to ship up a little bit more there for top ship. So keep an eye on that for tomorrow for some momentum as well, because it's not looking too bad. And AREB is another one we're just watching right here, seeing it pull back. I was watching it today. And let's see when it tries to get ready down here. So I'll let you guys know. I don't think it today could be trying to bottom out. You were right here, so I think that line might try to pull catch up with it and it base out around here. I'll look at it tomorrow. It's not looking bad to try to bottom out, and I would keep an eye on it in the morning in case it does want to bounce. Can't guarantee that, but we'll just see. And again, it's trying to get set up in that spot right there. You can just see it, and it's going to try to start curling up. So we'll keep an eye on it. Oh, it does have, they announced a reverse split today. Oh, wow, look at that. And it'll take effect, let's see, on the 31st, which is next Monday. So that's interesting right there. I just happened to notice that it said it on here, and that does say the 31st, so it did pop it on there, and this one doesn't have it yet. But yeah, that's interesting. So we'll look at this tomorrow and see anything if it wants to pull back some more with that reverse split notice. And yeah, like I said, I was waiting for that to come down, maybe make a base, but with that we may have to wait, and that goes on a reverse split list, and we look at it after. So I'll take a look at it tomorrow and see what it wants to do there. And this star box, this thing is trying to get set up. Look at it, it's right there, and it could get running up tomorrow. I know we've been looking at it the last few days, and it's just got that flat look, but I'm telling you, it's in that spot where they do like to pop off, and they do catch you by surprise sometimes. So I would keep an eye on this in the next day or so. Good old STBX, because that could be getting set up to get moving. BTOG, we were looking for that to roll off the MACD right here. And let's see, let me type it in. BTOG, there we go with Bit Origin. And let's see, it is going to try to roll off. It does look like it, guys. Look at it. It appears we thought it was going to. And again, they pull back while they're doing it. And then as it gets rolling up, this thing could go right back up, maybe get up over that 60 cents and actually pop. So BTOG, keep an eye on it to try to set back up and run and roll off of that MACD right there. And that's what we've been watching right there. And how about HKPD? This thing, remember we were talking about this bad boy trying to get moving. And I was watching it today, and I had my eyes on it, and I had the craziest thing happen today. I'm trying to like buy something, and my power, like literally my entire house goes out. I'm like, what just happened? And it was pretty wild. And yeah, it definitely messed up the trade because I had to go back in and it didn't go through. So I was literally like hitting, it was the most bizarre timing ever, hitting like the buy button, and yeah, it just like the power went out. I was like, that was wild. So I think I got to put my computer, because obviously it wasn't a laptop, it's that Apple one, and I think I got to put it on a battery backup now. I never really did that before, but maybe I have to, because that was pretty wild. Anyway, that was a interesting thing that happened. The timing was just pretty crazy. But HKPD looking good right here and could get busting out there. So keep an eye on it, and we'll see if it can get back over that 20 right there and really get moving for HKPD. And let's look at this FBGL, guys, because this is looking pretty good as well. And it's another one we were looking at down here. Got up over to 20. We were talking about it last night. We've been talking about it and tracking it. And yeah, look at that movement today, 93 to 122 at 120, and looking good for tomorrow. So FBGL, keep an eye on that. And I'm pretty sure, I forget, there was a couple people that like that today, and I'm pretty sure Scott was all over. I don't even remember, but I'm pretty sure Scott was all over that one in the beginning. But FBGL, look at it, it's fairly new. And again, we just knew it was kind of setting up, and I generally don't look at too many new ones and get a good idea, but you could tell that was getting set up right there. And this SYTA, remember I was saying this was looking good to get up to that 20, and it did exactly that today. SYTA right here. So yeah, we'll see it. It looks good to get into this channel, guys. So keep an eye on this thing. 224 to 245. It closed at that 236. And it basically did exactly like I said it was going to do last night. You hit that 20, and now I think it is going to get into that channel. It appears that it looks like it wants to anyway. We'll see about tomorrow and go over everything, but they do look pretty good. And I know Trump's always talking tariffs and this and that. Like I said, it's his way to control the market right now, and they're trying to get the interest rates down. He even hinted to the Fed. He said, I sure hope Jerome Powell lowers them interest rates. And so, yeah, they're really trying to beat it in and get them lower so that they can actually do something, because high rates and a market running isn't really the best thing you want. You would rather get the rates low and these things low, and then they can blast off and really go. So, yeah, I could see what's going on here. And again, they're just controlling it where they're not letting this thing drop down to that anywhere near them recession terms or stop losses where it's going to trigger like a crazy stop loss, and then it's just going to be like ba-boom, ba-boom, and that's what causes the crashes. They know exactly what they have to say, what they need to do, and yeah, it's being orchestrated for sure. You can tell crypto's been that way for a little bit. But the market totally, guys. And so, yeah, it's no big deal. He's got to get some work done in there. So that's what you're seeing. But we're going to see these run-ups, and then you're going to see some pullbacks. And some of these run-ups are going to start getting into them all-time highs again and pull back. I think you're going to see some big run-ups, some big pullbacks. And honestly, that's when you can really make some serious money if you can trade them smart like that. Don't necessarily worry about the top getting up here, for example, like that 26.79, and just get anywhere around here, because when you catch it down here at about $8.92 or $9 or whatever it is, and you run it up anywhere in this zone of like $19, you're doing really well with them. So just look at zones more or less than bottoms and tops. And now, but the ZSPC, I'm just looking at it, and it is looking good right here. And that 20 is going to start curling it up. So one to keep an eye on right here is ZSPC. You can see it like opened and closed right around the same price, 11.38. It closed at 11.30, and it was kind of just bouncing around there, but probably going to stay in that channel right there. And that's exactly what we want to see, and that's what they're trying to do to start moving as well. So that is a good look right there, and that is your ZSPC. Yeah, I almost forgot the letters. CHRS. This thing was trying to get set up. I know it was running up the other day. I guess it ran up this morning possibly. Let me look at it real quick. 106, I guess a gap. What did it close at? 103, and then it opened at 106. It ran up a little bit, came back down some, but not looking terrible right there. It was trying to stay up into that channel. We'll have to see about tomorrow. Could just be some healthy pullback right there for CHRS. So we'll keep an eye on that. And this FBRX, we looked at this last night and a couple, like the Sunday night and last week a couple times, and it was running up there. And let's see, it dipped down. I didn't really look at it today. And let's look. I know we looked at it this morning. I saw it, but now it's dipping down 850 to 933, and now it's in the sixes. So I'll have to look at this thing tomorrow and see if it wants to really pull back there. But that's your FBRX, Fort Biosciences. And yeah, we just hopped that on the list the other day, and it started popping up right there. It just looked like it wanted to run, but pulling back, we'll see how much it wants to do that tomorrow, and I'll take a look at it. VRPX, this one just did the old split routine too the other day. And let's see what it's doing, just kind of pulling back. VRPX, and yeah, there you go. It's just kind of pulling back. It tried to curl through, did the split, and we'll watch it tomorrow. I'll keep an eye on that one as well, and just see when it wants to get set up. And it's better that they all like kind of run at the exact same time, because then you kind of really have to pick and choose which ones you really like the best and just trade them, because you can't really go all out wild and be trading like like 10 or 11 of them at a time. It just gets way too crazy. So and these things are popping like wild, but they can run up fast and pull back. So they're hard to keep an eye on, several of them. And So yeah, you just got to play the ones that you really like right there. A lot of these momentum ones like that MLGO. Hey, obviously that APDN is going to be cruising there, and just so many of these reverse split ones setting up. So again, just tons of opportunity all over. JAGX, this is a favorite right here. This one reverse split down here, and you can see that. And I think what today it reverse split, and here we go with this, I believe. Let's see what it wants to do here. And yeah, reverse split today and just kind of setting up, and you'll probably get that run up off of the reverse split. Look at it, came down that level, and it is trying to bounce through. We'll look at it as it starts curling up a little bit better and see when the Jaguar wants to run. But also the Lion, I believe, is announcing a reverse split real soon. I think that's Wednesday. 1 for 50 right here, Laptop Travel said. So keep an eye on the Lion as well. Look at that dip right there. And yeah, ADS ratio change. There you go. There you are. So 1 for 50. I was looking around. It didn't say reverse split, but then I noticed that right there, the ratio change. And so they don't usually call it that. That's an odd way to do it, but whatever. The Lion, so we're keeping an eye on that one. Let's see what the Cheetah wants to do. Do you want to do a reverse split too, Mr. Cheetah? They're over $1, and let's see, it's down here, kind of been pulling back, nothing too crazy, so we'll keep an eye on it. Could get set up and just get a little pop off for the Cheetah, but it doesn't look like anything crazy at the moment. So it's just hitting that 20, and again, maybe roll off and try to run. We'll keep an eye on CTNT and see what's up with it. And Red Cat RCAT, this was up today, and that one is hitting that trend line right there, and not looking bad, guys. And some of these computer hardware ones aren't looking too bad as well, so we can actually go through them right now. I'll just roll right through that list real quick, and here we go, just a little off the list a little bit, starting with, what do we even start with right there? JAGX reverse splitting into the Lion reverse split, and Cheetah, Red Cat, and now we're going to do computer hardware and quantum ones. So there you go, with big cats and into these. And here we are with Red Cat RCAT, and it is looking good. Like I said, it was running up today, 559 to 612, and it closed at 599. And yeah, hitting that line right there, but it does not look bad, guys. You can see it's in that channel, so keep an eye on that. And that RGTI was moving up today, and it does have that resistance up here, so it does look like it's trying to curl up really nice, but we just got to make sure it does want to, keep that momentum. They could stay in this channel, we know that, run up and then curl back down, curl back up. So that's what you're going to be looking at for the moment on these guys. In QUBT right here, that one's running up, but this one could get cruising, so I would keep an eye on QUBT. I'm actually going to jot that down right there. Looking good, and looks like it's going to keep that momentum for tomorrow, so that's one to keep an eye on. And QBTS right here was up a little bit. I don't know if it's necessarily ready, but it is going to curl back up and cruise. So, but again, the other one looked much better than QBTS at the moment. You can see it. It's going to come back maybe another day or so. We'll look at D-Wave tomorrow. But again, QUBT looking pretty nice right there. QMCO, let's look at that one. Quantum Corp, I couldn't think of the name of it. That's in that channel, just kind of hanging out. QMCO. And yeah, that's right in there. So just expect it to run into that channel for a little bit. So that's QMCO. And this is the ETF, QTUM, Defiance Quantum ETF. And another one not looking bad. Look at that thing crawling up. So they're going to get fired up real soon. This is in that channel, looking much better right there. So that's QTUM, and holy cow, if I could talk, IONQ, there you go. And that one looks real good. It was up today, as a matter of fact. IONQ right here, look at that, 2301 to 26. It closes in the 26s and looks like it wants to get moving, guys. So keep an eye on that IONQ as well right there. So a couple other good ones right there with the QUBT, IONQ. The other ones are basically setting up, and we look looked at the ZSPC and Red Cat and RCAT right there. So there you go with that. And Angie, I think it's Angie's list, right? I would have to imagine so. Communication services on the internet, and that just reverse split and started to run today. And it was a 1 for 10, not as diluted and kind of setting up, guys. So keep an eye on ANGI tomorrow. And it didn't. I mean, this just shows like that crazy run up. So not necessarily something you can really get an idea, but yeah, it's we'll look at it tomorrow. The trend spider chart will be back to normal. It's weird. It takes like a couple hours, like 24 hours, 12 hours sometimes after reverse splits on some of them. And so, yeah, this thing doesn't look bad for ANGI, so we can keep an eye on that. And I think it is Angie's list. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure. And Damon, we were looking at this thing, and it took a nice dip right there the other day. DMN. And let's see, it's just pulling back, but it looks like it wants to get rolling off that MACD. So let's keep an eye on this thing as well. Good old DMN, Damon. And we'll see what that's up to right there. I'll have to put a little mark to keep an eye on that. And that IMTE, I know, went nutty. And then we look at it, I think maybe, I don't even remember, but this one went berserk today as well. When we were looking at this as well, IMTE 94 to 223. It's at 158. And another one you guys can keep an eye on. It did jump up into that top for a second. It pulled itself back out, but it could easily go back up with that momentum in the morning. It says it pulled back right there. Yeah, it did. Well, it was all the way up at the top, so when it was closing, I did remember that. So it did close at like 210, and then it did pull back in the after hours, but not looking bad, guys. So I could see that trying to run back up in the morning. Just watch that for some momentum right there. And how about this NVPR? I think NVPR, is that what I even wrote? That's not what I wrote. It's VVPR because that was moving today, Vivo Power. And this was another one that we had on the list last night. If you look at it, it was definitely on there. And this thing just went berserk. And I would look at this in the morning to see if it wants to run some more VVPR. 118 to 436. It's at 312. And again, see if it has that momentum in the morning. You'll know, but that was another one that was on the list last night. And WGRX, let's see what WGRX sounds like, a radio station, and that's at Wellgistics something, Wellgistics Health, and that is pulling back. It ran up on Friday. We were looking at it because you couldn't really tell right there, and it is pulling back. We'll have to look at it again to get a better idea. It's a fairly new one, and that could have been topped out. Maybe it'll try to get set back up, but I'll look at it tomorrow and get a better idea on WGRX and FBGL. Let's look at FBGL. FBGL, that's what it is. FBS Globe. Oh, yeah, this is another one that we've been looking at and is looking good. Didn't we already look at it? I think so. I don't know. I probably wrote like the same ones down 10 times. Let me see. Did I? I have no idea. No. Oh, we looked at FBRX, and I knew. No, that wasn't the one that looked like this. There's another one that looks like this one, but anyway, who cares? FBGL. We're looking at it again, and it is coming out of the basement, and it's over that. I swear we definitely looked at it. I mean, I swear we did. Whatever. I don't see it, I don't see these things very well. Anyway, FBGL. And yeah, I mean, I would say we're watching that thing some more tomorrow right here, because it is running up that 92 to 122, and it was at 114, and I was pretty sure, yeah, like 93 to 122. I remember it was at the same prices. Anyway, FBS Global. I know we looked at it, and there we go, but we'll look at it. Yeah, there it is. I see it now. It was right under HKPD. I was like, can we just do this one? Anyway, there we go. And we looked at it a second time. It still looks the same, believe it or not, after doing like 5 or 6 stock tickers. So it didn't change any. And but it is a good one to keep an eye on, and I have a dot next to it where I just saw Zoom car. This one was zooming up a little bit today, and let's see what ZCAR, I can spell car, ZCAR hitting that 20. Is that reverse splitting as well, or did it? They just announced a reverse split the other day. What day did it take place today? Because it looked like it just did it right there on my end, but it doesn't say. March 24th. 4th when it opens up. So that would have been today. So yeah, that had to have been a reverse split. It doesn't say it right there. This one did, but so that's how I kind of saw that. And it doesn't look too bad off the reverse split. So another one, Zoom car reverse split action, and we love after they reverse split. And again, they like kind of dip down usually. You don't want to be in it why it reverse splits for whatever reason, I don't know, but you tend to want to get in it right as it reverse splits or bottoms out there to run back up there. So that is Z car and the old mist right here. We were looking to see if it wanted to get back into the mist, and it was curling back up. So let me see what MIST is doing, and it didn't look too bad. You had that bottom look right there. It kind of dropped out of that channel, but you can tell these things are up here trying to curl back up. We know that look, and look at it. It wants to curl back up. You're going to get that resistance back at 241, so had to see if it can get through it. Already tried it twice. It couldn't really do it, and we'll see if it can really get blasting through this time and get into the mist right there for MIST and TNXP right here. This one started to run big time today, and I think we saw this on the this was on StockTwits last night trending, and it was looking good, and that's why, because it went 25.94 to 37.83, and it closed at 31. So there you go with TNXP, and just a beauty. And I would watch it. It's hitting that 200 day at 40, but it's not looking too bad right there. So you can keep an eye on that for some momentum. I'll go through some of the messages real quick, see what you guys are up to. Stock and up for future. Good evening. How are you? Couple right there. DMN we did. Lunar we'll look at, right? DMN, is that Damien? Yeah. And Lunar right here, let me see, this one's a good one. Aerospace and defense right there, and this was popping up. It did have earnings last week on the 24th. Oh no, they were today actually, and they were red, but it's popping up. You can see it bottomed out right there, popping up there. You're gonna get some resistance when you come into that $10 area, maybe to get set back up, but yeah, you can see it right there. But it did have a nice little pop up, and I think it'll get set up there as an aerospace defense. It was way in the 20s up there, obviously, and this is one we've kept track of and looked at it a bunch of times. So that is your LUNR right there. And let me see. Oh, I'm glad you wrote this down, because I forgot to add it to the list, and it's a beauty right here. SUNE was up like 7-8 cents. It's up 9, and yeah, it was looking really good. I'm glad you put that one in there. Thank you very much. Stocking up for future, and it is over that 20, and I bet you're going to get a run up right here, and it could be a good one. So watch this one in the morning for some Sun Nation energy, because it looks like it's going to get some sun and energy in the morning and be cruising. So there's one to definitely keep an eye on right there. Thank you very much for reminding me, and that is a good one. We did look at the Lion, thanks Laptop Travel, because I saw you post that up there. It just caught my eye as we were going through them. So appreciate that. And the OCEA is up 11% in the after hours, Omar. I did not even know that, but let's look at it again, because it was the first one we did. So if anybody's hopping on late, we'll take a look at it again. OCEA right here, and let's see what it's up to. And you're saying it is up. This one doesn't really show the overnight hours too much, which is perfectly fine, but it just shows where it kind of closed at like 8 o'clock, which it looks like right under 6.5 cents. But yeah, if it is up in them overnight hours, and it will be looking pretty good right there. I'll bring it up. OCEA right here, and it isn't looking bad. Whoop, I didn't want to do that. But it isn't looking bad right there. And again, it just wants to run up to that 20 and see what it wants to do. But it could easily get over that 20 being down here and in this position right here. You can see it bottomed out. So yeah, definitely keeping our eye on that, Omar. And DGLY did have a terrible day. That did pull back right there. And DGLY, Digital Ally, and yeah, that 20 is kind of pushing it down for whatever reason. Didn't they announce a split or something? That was back a while, so no, nothing new, huh? Not that I see. And again, that's as far as my news goes. But yeah, that pulled back today pretty good. So we'll keep an eye on that. It went from like in the high 6s down in like 4.5 land, and that's where it's at. And maybe we'll get a roll off right there, and it would be a really good one for anyone that's been really patient. I haven't been in this one, so we might have to keep an eye on that DGLY. I know we've gone over it a few times. It was trying to set up here, and but yeah, being patient on these things definitely plays out. And again, there's just been so many of them that are setting up and crazy. You got to pick the one that you really like, and I obviously didn't love this one. I think what is his name? Sworn John. What does it go by? I know what it is. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But that dude posts he posts a lot of the good penny ones. And I think he posted this one in OCEA. Was it yesterday or today? And I think it was whenever. And I was saying I like the OCEA a little bit better. And I guess that's probably why, because this one did take a nice dip. So yeah, there you go with that DGLY taking a little nosedive. And then we'll watch for the bottom here, because then it'll be a really good opportunity. Like I said, for anybody that's not in it, it'll be a beauty. Anyone in it will find that bottom for you and get you back out. So we've done that a million times too. And again, sometimes they just pull back, and you just, right now in this market, you kind of really have to be patient, but you still just never know. That's why you take these momentum ones that are just cruising along, and the ones that are really set up. So this one was kind of set up, I'm not going to lie, and it will be a much better one to keep an eye on now. And TEM, I know that's on the list, but we'll look at it now. Tempest, this was running up today, looking really good right there. TEM, and let's see what that's doing over that 50. Yeah, I would say that's cruising up there some more tomorrow, so keep an eye on TEM, and it is on the list right there, so I would take a look at that tomorrow. And it is looking pretty solid. Look at that thing getting curled up. I like it. And that is Tempest AI right there. And let's see, AREB is reverse splitting on the 31st. So yeah, we're going to keep an eye on that. And it's 1 for 25. Thank you very much, Laptop Travel. We were talking about AREB, and that one we're going to wait off. And actually, I wrote these things on the back of this thing, so let me just turn it over. 331 AREB, because I wrote the rest of them down. That Lion is on the 26, and GFRX is on the 26. So yeah, I wrote that list that Laptop Travel had, and I'm trying to keep track of some of these reverse splits, because it is kind of wild right now with these things. So we'll keep an eye on these. And let's see, that HKPD, it wants to run. Yeah, that thing looks good. And JAGX is a wild one. And CTNT, the cheetah, doesn't need a reverse split. They had one back in October, and they're above $1. That's what I had noticed. So they're good. And Lunar has some strength and profit in the projections. Plus, if SpaceX gets more government contracts, reportedly so Elon, Lunar will benefit. That would be good. And DGLY has announced a public offering expected to raise approximately $15 million with the proceeds intended for general corporate purposes and working capital. The offering includes 100 million common units priced at 15 cents. So there you are with that. And TEM's a Pelosi pick, so there you are. That's why that one's rolling, I guess. And yeah, I guess DGLY did have a public offering according to Laptop Travel, and he probably does know. So thank you very much right there, Laptop Travel. Greatly appreciate that. I'll keep cruising right through the rest of this list over here on this side, and we'll get rolling. But thought I would just go through, do some messages. And how is everybody tonight? I hope you guys had a great day with that green day. And like I was saying, you could tell things were getting set up. We had to make sure, but on Friday they were looking good, and I was saying you guys ready for some poppers, and there you go with some poppers. So let's see what's going to be another fresh popper here. We love them. This one's not looking bad. It looks like it did run up. Could have a little bit of pullback, this NIX, NIXX. And we'll have to look at it tomorrow. It is going to stay in this channel, so it's nothing terrible. I just don't know if it's going to be that popper tomorrow. And DGLY, obviously, we just talked about, so we don't need to beat that one down again. But we're keeping an eye on it. And TNON, let's look at this one, Tenon Medical. Remember, this is that one that ran. Look at this. I forget the date, but this is the one that ran in the pre-market like to $120 one day. It was the most insane thing. I can't even get there. Yeah, I'm not even going to get to that price up there. It's going to be insane. It's going to mess up the whole chart. Anyway, this thing ran to like $120 one morning, and it was insane. Is that it right there? Yeah, there you go. Here you go. It was on September 13th, and it opened up. It was nuts. It came in at morning 4:35 to 125 on September 13th, and it was all at 4 o'clock in the morning. By like 4:15, it was done. And Laptop Travel, a couple people, we talked about it the day before right there. We're like, yo, that thing's looking good. And I even said, yo, morning crew, keep an eye on that thing. That thing's looking really good. I was talking to Laptop Travel, a couple other people. Someone else smashed it out of the park. I remember a couple people crushed that thing at 4 a.m. It was insane. So yeah, these things are trading huge. That's the day I realized that things traded at 4 a.m. like for real, when this thing ran. But let's go back to it today, and it's not looking bad right there. TNON. And I always forget the one that actually ran, but that is this one. It did run 4 to 125 that morning. That was pretty crazy right there. I guess they just had their earnings. What did that even say? March 20th, so they just had them last week. And it does look like it's trying to bottom out, but I'd have to look at it tomorrow to get a better idea. I can't. What does this even go? What is going on here? March 24th, and that's the same date. And did it run up in the after hours, it looked like, and this doesn't. Oh, wait, I'm not even looking. Guys, this thing drives me nuts. I was not looking over here, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Again, it drives me crazy. Now do you see why it drives me crazy? I'm spending like a minute or two jumping back and forth trying to figure out, like, is that the same day? What the heck is going on? But there you go. That's the example right there, and that's why, again, I spend like 2 minutes on it going, what is going on right now? And if they would just show the damn candle that it ran up, I mean, they even show out the price ran up. It probably stopped at 6:30, but it kept going towards 8. But whatever, just show it moving. That's what I've been talking about. So just giving you a quick example. I won't talk about it again if we see a million of them, but we do. And yeah, it just throws me off there. But anyway, it did run up in the after hours, so it's looking really good. And I would watch it for momentum in the morning. I don't think it's going to 125 tomorrow, but it could cruise up there early. So I would keep an eye on that TNON right there. Maybe some momentum after, obviously, them after hours. And ALLR, this one's looking really good too, guys. Just watch if it wants to pull back at all. Let me see. I was watching this one today, and look at it. Just see if it pulls back into this channel. It's getting set up, and we know this thing's going to get rolling. It could come down one more time to roll off that MACD. It'll be perfect, and then that thing will get blasting off. So keep an eye on ALLR. I'll keep you guys updated on that one tomorrow because I've been watching that as well. And let's see what that PSTV is doing, plus Therapeutics right here. They had earnings, it looks like, on the 27th, which was, oh wait, they have earnings on it. I was going to say, we're not that far in the month, are we? No, we're not. So they have earnings coming up. It's just bouncing around, and you know how I don't like them. It does look like it's pretty good right there, but I think you might get back into this channel here. I probably wouldn't mess with it tomorrow, and maybe not even into the earnings, but we can look at it then and see if we can get a better idea. And how about this XHLD, another one that was on our list, guys, that got popping today, and it ran really good, 146 to 278. It closed at 199 right there, it says. And yeah, that was a beauty. And I would look at it in the morning. Maybe it can keep some momentum right there. Can't guarantee you, but we had that one now down as well. So we had a bunch of them right there. And again, you can't even trade them all. It's basically impossible. What is this? Is this one over here? APGO. And it must be APGOF Apollo Silver. And that was running up today. Not looking bad there at 26 cents, but I'm not so sure how much more you're going to get out of it. So something I probably wouldn't mess with, especially being that it's an OTC. So BNAI, this one, brand engagement, this one's trying to get set up right here. BNAI. And what was it doing? 39 to 41. It's at 38 and a half basically, and it's in that channel right there. So yeah, just keep an eye on it. It's trying to get set up. Maybe a couple more days it might have for BNAI, or maybe a week or so, and we'll keep an eye on that. And PTLE, this one's been beaten down right here. Somebody asked me to look at it. I took a quick glance at it and said, yeah, that one has potential right there. PTLE right over that 20. It's been beaten down and it's been fighting its way up here. So it does look like it's trying to roll tomorrow. We'll see. It might need a little more volume there, but maybe it starts sneaking in now that it looks much better. It did spike up that day with barely any volume too, so they don't always need volume, but it would definitely help this bad boy get curled up and get up to that 50. So that is PTLE, and it's a specialty retail in Singapore right there, and you can keep an eye on that. And I'm pretty sure this one might be an OCD, holy cow, OTC. I don't even know what I'm talking about. You guys listen to me and I talk about stocks, I don't even know what I'm talking. This is Cresco Labs. I'm very familiar with it, and they might, are they still on here? They might be. CRLF, no, they might not be. Cresco Labs, it probably isn't. Yeah, nah. Cresco is no longer on there. They're just like OTC'd, I guess. And this is a cannabis one, so I'm very familiar with Cresco Labs. Done plenty of High on Wall Street episodes about this right here. And yeah, I mean, it's not looking too bad. It's kind of pulling back, just running its channel. Could run down a little bit. We'll keep an eye on it. I'll look at like CGC, Canopy Growth. These things, remember, they did pop up that day and then they curled back down. They're looking much better, though, I have to say. I know Tilray was running the other day. Remember, we talked about that last week and it ran. Yeah, last Monday these things ran, so that might have been there. Yeah, the 17th and 18th, they were running up there last week. I remember Tilray was doing it, and they're trying to get set up here. So I don't know what's going on in the cannabis industry at the moment. Not that I saw anything crazy grab my attention that they'd be moving, but they are looking a little bit better as they've been beat down there, and obviously nothing's going on in the industry, especially as you're not going to have any federal regulations or anything being passed right now, and Trump's not really focused on the cannabis industry, to be honest with you. Maybe he'll make something happen with it, but I don't think it's a real priority at the moment. I don't blame him. So plenty of states have legal recreational legalized, and they're pretty much just cruising along doing their thing. And it's just one of them industries that's just not viable because it doesn't have federal banking, and until they do that and cut some of these other things the nonsense away and let these companies operate like normal companies, they're just not going to be able to run and really be successful. So you got to be careful with these things, and I think everybody's had a turn in the cannabis stocks, and like I said, I follow them all. You can tell what goes on. I just follow the industry closely, so I follow the businesses as well. So there you go with some cannabis stocks right there. And here's the MSOS, and this is the Advisor Shares Pure US Cannabis ETF right there, way down. And I know YOLO's another one right there, and that one's way down. But again, they're getting down there and not looking bad. So it's definitely, this one's not looking bad at all. YOLO, the one to keep an eye on. So maybe we'll run through some cannabis ones later on or tomorrow, so I'll throw a quick. I know we have a list of them that we've run through plenty of times, so we can look at that. And then this, what is it, Green Lane Holdings right here. We've been watching this thing. That took a nice dip right there. Green Lane Holdings. Whoop, let me put it in GL. What is it? GNLN. That's what it is. And yeah, that's a nice dip. Did they have earnings or something? No, it doesn't say anything, but it does say it took a nice dip, 38 all the way down into the 29.5. It's at 32. And we'll take a look and see if it wants to curl back off. It probably will crawl back off that MACD. But again, as they start going up, and as soon as they make that crawl back down, they can just dip as much as they really want. We know that look. So you have ample opportunity to get out of them. And again, don't try to stretch them and try to catch the exact tops. They're very volatile right now, and there's 10 million great setups at the moment, so you don't got to be set on one of them. You can kind of just go in in one real quick, and that's all you want to do. Catch that pop, move to the next one, and that's what you're just looking for right now. NXXT, as the rest of the market's getting set up, but this one's trying to get set up right here. NXXT right there. And yeah, look at it trying to fight. It was in there the other day and it's trying to fight its way in. It looks like it'll get into that channel tomorrow, so we can keep an eye on that one. And again, when they get in there, you know what they're going to do. So any of them that you like, you just watch them. If they have them short channels, you keep an eye on it. You know it's going to bust through and get moving. AMOD right here. Let's see what this is doing. Looks like it's just pulling back a little bit. Let me see. AMOD. I mean, it's right. It's trying to fight its way up. I'd have to look at this one tomorrow. I can't really get a good gauge on it at the moment. It could go either way, really. You could curl it up, jump up, or it could push down a little bit more. So again, I would have to get a better idea. It did run up a little bit, and it is trying to get set up. You could tell it wants to, but I'm not so sure it's exactly ready. And again, I would definitely want to take a better look at that tomorrow. DXF right here, and this is a China one, and I've traded this one a bunch of times before back in the day, and it did bottom out there. Let's see, it's crawled over right there. DXF. And we'll take a look at it. And the 20's holding. Let's see. If it can get over this 20, then you got a good amount of room from that 7 to 11 to try to get moving. And it could really get crawled up there and actually move. Because look at this thing. It's run before. And these China ones, we know, like to run and pop when they like to get moving. So I'll keep an eye on that tomorrow just to see what it wants to do. And CISO right here, CISO Global or something like that. And this thing's way down in the basement right here. Let's see what it's up to. It could be a great opportunity. What'd it do? 59 to 79? Does it even do that on here? 59 to 79? I don't see that happening. So it definitely did it at some point. Not sure exactly when, but it came back to 45. So I'm going to assume it happened in the pre-market there. And it did run up, but I'll keep an eye on this because this one, it looks like it's pulling back here, but we'll see how far it wants to pull back. Has that trend line coming across. So, and it's in the basement and it kind of has that bullish look up there. I'll look at this one. Interesting look for sure. And how about this Weemy? That Weemy hologram one's another China one. And it was starting to move today. I noticed this one caught my eye. It's on my watch list. That's how I knew. And WIMI is moving right here in that channel, and it looks like it's trying to bust through. So keep an eye. Over 6 million in volume right there, and not looking bad. So we'll see. It has some resistance up there at that 90 cents, and it's trying to push up there right now, as you can see. So there you go at WIMI right there, and that is Weemy. And UPC, this one's up 87 cents and looks pretty good, bouncing out of the bottom right there, off the bottom, and trying to move. And this one says it has a reverse split or something going on. I'm not so sure about that, but it does say share consolidation. So let's see what day it's going to be. And effective on March 24th, which would have been today. So there you go. We didn't really see it, but that's why it is looking pretty good, I bet, and might hit up here. So keep an eye on this thing, UPC, and it does say the split right here. So yeah, mine's even telling the splits. The Finviz isn't even telling us because I guess shares consolidation, they're naming it all kinds of other stuff. I don't know if they're tricking their algorithm possibly. I have no idea. But usually they show up as their the splits with that S right there. This one split back in November too. Look at that. So there you go, but it is running up, and we've been loving them splits right there. Who told you Ford was looking good down here, guys? And boom, Ford's rolling up there, and you're going to get moving up into the higher 10s. I mean, it's not huge, but it's definitely a mover, especially when the market was nobody was doing anything, and we were just cruising along, hitting poppers, and Ford was cruising up, looking good. So yeah, I would say Ford still looked good right there. So that is the letter F. ETF, and that good old GDHG. We do like that China one too, and that was moving as well today, up 56 cents. And I think we might have looked at it, but keep an eye on it because it popped up into the top right there, and it could get cruising tomorrow morning some more. So 134 to 210, and it closed at 193. And again, I would keep an eye on that for some momentum in the morning for GDHG. And let's look at our logic mark, which is LGMK. Here we go. And it is way down there, guys. That took a big dip. I didn't even notice that today, to be honest with you. I didn't see that. But it is dipped down there, and it came down into the 10s. It's at 11.5 right now. So we'll look at it and see if that's a dip and rip look. Look at that bad boy. I would keep an eye on it for a dip and rip look. And again, this thing based out, came down, and yeah, it's we'll see if it wants to do anything right there. And there you go with that list. I'll go ahead and look at our laptop travels and our Jolie's jams right here. Let me see what else is going on. Cresco Labs is CRLBF on the OTCs. Yeah, I thought it was an OTC right there. And let's see. Let me see. Just ask Finviz to allow option and settings to change the candlestick time periods if they are. That would be nice if they could do that. That would be really nice, actually. You know what? That's a great idea. I think if they could fix the situation, they might just do it the whole time, but that would be nice if they could just do that. And AGH, this one we've looked at before. I think it was it pulling back today? But it ran this morning. I forget. What did it do? 74 and then pulled back there, and it closed up at 70. So it did. It ran. I think. Wait, hold on. Yeah, it closed at 70 on Friday. It opened at 74, and then it came back down to 66, but it closed at 73 today. So we'll keep an eye on this AGH and see what that wants to do right there. It's definitely a new company as well. Some of these new ones have been pretty wild, so we'll keep an eye on that. And here you go, Sezzle. We'll actually do our Jolie's Jams first, Luis Rodriguez, and take a look at Sezzle, and we'll run through her Asian Jolie's list and see what's going on. But remember, we were saying Sezzle was looking pretty good. It was up 16.98 today, and it is hitting this resistance right here, but it looks like it wants to jump up some more. And you guys know I always say I wish it had the options on it because it would be nice. And let's see, it says no options are available. There you go. So look at that bad boy. It tells us. I really like this feature, to be honest with you, with the options and the short interest and the latest filings right here. I forgot that we could just pop that up for these things and see when they filed shit. There we go. I mean, that's really cool. Honestly, they did a good job with that. We just got to get the pricing back right. That's all, like I've been saying. But there we go. And that is Sezzle looking good. We'll look at our rest of our Jolie's Jams right here. Good old Agrify was down a little bit. It says it was up in the after hours. It wasn't looking bad. I think it's trying to roll off that MACD again. I was looking at it. Look at it. Yeah, see? Maybe you have a little more pullback. It's trying to, so I think it's going to get in that channel and start curling back up. Just watch for any pullback. And Blink Charging's right there in that channel, looking a little better today. Notice this one as I go through Asian Jolie's list right here. But yeah, this one's trying to curl up, and it's fighting its way to try to stay up there and move a little bit. So keep an eye on BLNK. And that Sterling, guys, remember what I said last night? That thing was looking real good, up 735, and it's at 133. And again, this thing's at 139. It's going to hit that resistance. It might hit up here and then come back down, but this thing's getting set up, and it was in the 200s not long ago for STRL. So keep an eye on it. Look at it. We kind of knew that was running up. We kept marking it off on this list right here. And Rivian right here was up 59 cents as well, looking a little better to get set up. So things are looking much better. And again, they're not going to be blasting off, but we're in the right direction to get set up. And I think the market's a little healthier. There's Symbotic. That was up $1.11 and not looking bad right there to continue up some tomorrow. And again, we know the pattern. Just play the pattern right there, and you should be pretty fine. So thank you, Luis Rodriguez, leading us right into the Jolie's Jams right there. And then we'll do our laptop travel list, and then we'll cruise right through our big caps and everything else. So here we are, ACRV. Let's see. Acravon Therapeutics, and look at this thing. This one looks really good. Was this on the list the other day? I don't think it was last night. I kind of remember, but I could be wrong. And this thing looks good, guys. ACRV is looking real. Look at that thing trying to curl up there. I would keep an eye on that one right off the bat tomorrow. So keep an eye on that. ARTL. Let's see. It's run up into the channel. Let's see. ARTL. Whoop. ARTL right here. Artilio Biosciences or something, and it does look like a little pullback there, a little bit of pullback. We'll see. It might not be running up just yet, just kind of run a little more flat right there, but we'll look at it tomorrow. BMEA, let me see what this one's up to, and this one's just getting into that channel with a little bit of pullback, so let's see. Yeah, nothing too crazy. We'll just run right through them. We'll see if we can find any good poppers. Like I said, ACRV, that first one looking real good right there. This one's not looking bad. BTBD. There you go. It's hitting that resist. I'll keep an eye on this. Look at it, trying to get through there. It might bust through the next time, so we'll look at it. I think we looked at CHRS already, and it had pulled back today. Yeah, I just said it might be a little healthy. We'll look at it tomorrow and see if it was. ECD Automotive right here, and this thing's a little bit flat. And I don't know if it's exactly ready to roll, but you can see it getting set up here. So over here, trying to get set up, not exactly ready. So we'll look at that. FMST. Let's see. Foremost Clean Energy. I remember this one ran up not long ago right there. And it is in that channel, and we should see it try to move around. And again, a lot of times when the big caps really start moving, these don't stop moving, but you'll see them lag a little bit like you are. The pops come when things are moving down. The money changes hands. And just the way it works. But it's not a bad thing. Even the small caps like the... what is it? The I'll go through this one. The IWC was looking really good. But yeah, this one's just in that channel, open and close at the same spot, basically. Just that real weird look. But that IWM, is that what I said? I said C. IWM, look at this thing. Looking beautiful right here. I mean, this is your small caps right here. IWM. And yeah, I would say you're about to get cruising for sure. And you can look at a couple other ones. the C. Did I say that? That's the micro cap one. And that one's looking really good right there, guys. So IWM, IWC, and yeah, not looking bad. So I think we're going to get some run up on these things, and they're them indexes right there. So we will keep an eye on that. And FMST, like I said, was just right there. And Human, what was FMST? Oh, yeah, it was just sitting right there in that channel, so we'll have to take a look at that one. And HUMA, good old Huma right here. This one's getting set up, though. I'd keep an eye on this. It might hit that resistance. Might not be ready just yet. Might be towards the end of the week. Look at it. Looked like it was trying to run 340 or it gapped up there because it closed at 333. It pulled back. We'll look at it tomorrow. Now it's pulling back a little bit, so you'll get that roll off. And there you go, guys. Look, again, I don't see that at all. I don't even look at it, and I just know the chart, and then if I look at it, I knew something was wrong, and then come back and look at it 3 or 4 times to figure it out. So that's what happens. And yeah, I guess if you're looking at the charts like I am, as fast as we're just kind of zooming through, we don't really need to look at anything. I mean, like I've always kept it real simple like this, and I was explaining the other day, kind of showing you, and you see I do it every morning in the scanners and stuff. I just roll right through the charts and pick them out like real quick. You don't really need to look at a whole lot of stuff, and it doesn't matter what the market conditions are doing. And yeah, the fundamentals are great to know, but especially something like right now, we can just easily nail them down. I don't really think it's really fundamentals that are moving these things when it's a reverse split and they're popping. I mean, it's just basic, look at a technical and just figure out the pattern. I think we got the patterns down, guys. I mean, we've been nailing them pretty well. I must say, all that downturn that people were getting smoked on, we did extremely well, hitting 150, 300 percenters, crushing them all the time, and knowing what the market was doing every day. So if you just wanted to sit out on the sidelines, it was perfectly fine. You had the opportunity to put them down if you wanted to. And now knowing that they're kind of cruising up, and knowing Friday that they were looking good, like I said, now, things were getting ready to start popping. And again, we're getting some run-ups here, and we're going to have some pullbacks. Just read this pattern right here. We go through it every night. We pick them out and know exactly what's going on. So that's all you're seeing right here. And again, Huma had that pullback. I couldn't really tell with that chart, but it did pull back, so I'd have to look at it. And INRX, I don't see that unless I wrote something wrong. INR, I don't even know what I tried to write there, unless it's maybe a J, but I don't think so. I don't even know what that is. I'm not sure what that one is, Laptop Travel, if you want to post that one up. MNMD is at Mind Medicine. We had gone over this thing a lot for a while, actually. Mind Medicine right here, and this thing's not looking bad, guys. 692 up to 699. Yeah, I would say that's looking pretty good. Got into the sevens today. Like I said, could get up right into that 725 into that channel, and looking good right there. So keep an eye on that Mind Medicine and NBY right here. This one's not looking bad. It just has that little bit of pullback at the moment. Let me see what it did right here in the after. Yeah, you got that little bit of pullback, but again, you're going to stay right there and try to get curling back up. So just read that pattern right, and we're in. And again, they're all pretty much doing the exact same pattern, so it's not really that hard. I think that says OBIO, I'm going to say, and I couldn't even type it in right. Holy cow. OBIO, there you go. Orchestra, that was an orchestra right there. Let's see, Biomed Holding, something like that. And let's see, it's just trying to curl up here. It's in that channel, up 6 cents. And Orchestra, can't even talk. You guys know I read these things just because I know I can't say them. And those of you that are just tuning in that are new, I greatly appreciate everybody tuning in, as always. And yeah, I suffered a brain injury, so that's why my reading's not real good. I could read a chart and I can look at stock charts, amazing. I'm like in the matrix with these things now, but everything else, don't ask me to read you a kid's story. It's pretty bad. My kid, I think, reads better than me. He's 4, and I'm pretty sure he reads better than me now, so it's pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. And so yeah, I just kind of try to pronounce some of the ones that I know I just can't even say, and it's just have a good laugh. So I'm blessed to be alive. I know it, and I just have fun with it. And again, I love doing this. Clearly, been doing it a long time, and for whatever reason, it's the one thing that stuck with me after getting hit in the head really, really hard. I got hit with a 10-ton jack with the pressure of a 2-story house, so it was no joke, and it hit me right there and right over the eye. And it was less than 2 years ago, so coming up on 2 years, July 8th. How crazy is that? So yeah, that changed things around a little bit, but again, I do. I'm all right, I guess, because I can do this still, and I have fun with it. We have a great community, a great show, and yeah, you guys can laugh at me when I can't pronounce anything or say things right. Have fun with it, because I try to, and I think that's a key in life. You just got to kind of have fun and entertain things, make it obviously educational. Always I always tried to be safe, but things happen, shit happens, and yeah, you got to make things entertaining to have fun with life, because if not, what the hell are you gonna do? So that's my outlook. And again, I got hit pretty good, so if you hear me not being able to read or something, have fun, just get a good giggle and a laugh, and brighten your day, because at my expense, I have no problem with it. Like I said, I'm just happy and blessed to be alive, and that I can just do this, and that we have a fun show. So it's all good with me, and I try to give you a little entertainment while we go through stock, because it's not the most exciting thing, I don't think. I mean, I always loved it, so that's why I've done it for this long, but I don't think just looking at stock charts and staring at these things for like an hour or two is the most exciting thing. So I try to liven it up a little bit for you guys. So OLB, let's see what this is up to. So yeah, at any point, have fun with it. And I have thick skin. I don't really care. So have a good laugh. And OLB, let's see what this is doing. It's in that channel. just kind of sitting right there. I don't expect it to bounce up tomorrow, but it's not another one that's not a bad one to stay set up. And again, like sometimes I just can't even talk. My brain just like doesn't work like it used to. It's just I can't explain it. It's crazy. And so yeah, you hear me like fumble things around. Just like I said, have a good time with it. So I'm just explaining it so you guys don't think I'm absolutely insane, because you're like, who are we listening to? How does this guy even know what he's looking at? And again, it's like I'm in the matrix with these things. I've been doing it for over 20 years. I was always really good at it. You can see my track record. I mean, I've called a lot of 100%ers every year. I do at least well over 52, so I call at least one a week on average with no problem. I mean, not a problem at all. And yeah, I was just actually going through last year's. We did over like 80 of them that I just like posted about, and then just figured on the show how many we called out that I didn't even post, just because there's just so many of them. So yeah, that's pretty good. I think there was like 85 or more than that. I think I had. It's crazy. So yeah, I've always loved to do this, and we can pick the poppers. And again, you don't even have to trade the 100%ers necessarily, or even look for them. You just got to trade smart. You can take the Teslas, the big caps, the small caps, any of them. Just take the ones, get them at the bottom, run them up, trade them smart, get out of them, and roll it over, and you'll do fine. So just giving you a little experience. And like I say it all the time, you can pick all the 100%ers you want, but if you don't trade them smart, it doesn't really matter at all. But outlook, it's a good outlook to have, to be positive. And let's see what this thing's going to do, because it looks like it took a big old dip right there. So OTLK right here, what a dip right there. That was nice. 157 down to 124, and just came right back up. I mean, if you caught that thing, that was a lucky one. And again, people look at these things like, people love this one, and you'd be surprised, has over 1 million in volume right there. So people are watching these, and that's where we go through so many of them as well on the show. If you're new, I post the list. If you're wondering what we're even looking at, I post the show list every night on my Twitter account and StockTwits X account. So if you're not following along, follow along. And I post that out, and then we obviously live stream, and then we do a show 9 p.m. and 7 a.m. every day. We cover the market and go through and pick out the poppers. But yeah, this one, honestly, if you were looking at it and caught that dip, you were in a good spot right there, because it doesn't look too bad to try to stay in that channel. And I don't even know why it dipped down like that, but it did. And there you go with that outlook right there, OTLK and PRSO. Sitting right on that trend line, pulled back today. Let's see. I'd have to look at this, I'm going to say almost tomorrow, just off of that look. Yeah, it looks like it's going to pull back. You don't know if it's going to hold itself, because look at it. It looks like it might want to pull back a little bit more on this. We'd have to look at that one tomorrow, PRSO and PYXS. Let me type it in right, PYXS. There we go. And they just had earnings. Not looking bad right there to stay into that channel. PYXS. And here we go. It's not looking too bad, I would say, right there. I mean, it's going to try to run up to this, obviously, into this channel at 120 up to the 133. So we'll look at it. I don't know if it's really bouncing, like popping off real hard tomorrow, but it'll try to make its way up. And SABS right here. Didn't this thing run the other day or something? Wasn't this thing on the list or something? I don't remember. Maybe right there it might have run. I don't really remember. But anyway, SABS right here in that channel, pulling back a little bit. And another one, I would look at it and see if it wants to pull back a little bit more. And we'll take a look at that. And SCKT, Socket Mobile. I know this was on the list the other day. It has a weird look right there. Like it ran up, closed at the same price as 115. It ran up to 127 and closed at 115. So weird look right there. I'd look at that tomorrow as well. Sometimes you just can't get a good idea, and I don't like to guess. SCPH right here. This is trying to get moving. You'll get some resistance at this 322, but it'll stay in this channel and fight it right there. So it'll have a and it won't be that long because it's a short little channel. So that one will try to move. And AT&T right here has been pretty bullish. I was just looking at it today. I don't generally look at AT&T, to be honest with you, but seeing it on the list, I just kind of glanced at it real quick because I didn't know. I was like, what is T? And I didn't know if it was like T-Mobile, or aren't they the same company now? Maybe, I don't even know. Maybe they bought T-Mobile. I have no idea. Anyway, I didn't know what it really was, so then I was like, oh, it's AT&T. So I was looking at it, I was like, damn, this thing's been just running up and pretty damn bullish here. And honestly, it doesn't look too bad right there. So I would assume it's going to try to continue. Just be careful. You might get some pullback. Look at it. See if it comes down into this channel. If you're not in it already, don't chase it just yet. See if you get some better price action on some pullback. And TALK, good old talk space right here. That's getting curled up right there. That's looking good. Now we're talking. That looks good. There you go. Talk about that one tomorrow because that's looking good with TALK, good old talk space. And that one is looking good. And TNYA, Tenya Therapeutics or something like that, and it's hitting that 20. This one's not looking bad right there. Let's see what it looks like in the after hours. It's pushing up there, guys. I'd keep an eye on that one too. Talk and TNYA, TTEC. Let's see what that's doing here. TTEC Holdings. It's hitting the resistance. It had just run up. Look at it. And you'll probably get it coming back down a little bit. So just wait for that one to get set back up. You can see it right there. Come back and roll off. So nothing crazy. And URGN right here. Eurogen. And this one has been running up. I think you might be coming down, but I can't even tell. It's just been running up pretty good. So just be careful with this one. It does look like it kind of topped right there, but you never know. It could just be some healthy pullback as it ran up because the thing's setting up. I'd look at that tomorrow as well. And URGN, but another good list and a lot of great setups. And again, ACRV, that first one, Mind Medicine, MNMD, and Talk TNYA, a couple good ones to keep an eye on for tomorrow right there. And let's go ahead. We'll look and see what our SPY and them guys are doing. Let me see. Did I miss anything else? IFRX, is that what I was wondering if you posted it? IFRX, that was the one that I didn't know what I wrote. It's an I definitely wrote it down wrong. I put an N there for some crazy reason. IFRX, and wow, that one's, guys, I'm glad you told me this one. It was up 13 cents. And IFRX, I'd keep an eye on this one tomorrow too because that one's looking really good. So IFRX is another great one on that list. And yeah, I just wrote it down wrong. I think I put INRX, so it's IFRX, and it is looking much better. I'll erase it so when I post it out, you guys can know. IFRX right there. So there you go. And yeah, that one's looking really good as well. So thank you, Laptop Travel, for letting us know that one. And let's see right here, PRSO. Let's see. That was up in the after hours, and that one honestly has a pretty good setup off of that line, so you keep an eye on that PRSO, and especially if it's up in the after hours, because look at it, it was like right there, so you just can't tell. But if it's trying to move, again, some of these you just keep an eye on, and you can definitely tell they're right there. They start curling up and looking good. And how about this STFS? Didn't we look at this the other day or something? And I was saying like it jumps around a lot because this thing just ran up. I know he did. STFS, Star Fashion Culture. I know we just looked at it, and it definitely popped up there today quite a bit. 96 to 177. It's at 141, and yeah, you might want to keep an eye on that one as well. STFS, and yeah, that was just on a list or I don't know. Somebody was talking about it. We were looking at it because I remember that setup and it jumping around. So that one's looking pretty good, guys. Keep an eye on that bad boy. STFS right there. And let's look at T-Mobile is TMUS. Oh, they aren't. I thought they were them and AT&T had combined, and this one actually looks pretty good too. So look at it; it's just staying right there, pretty healthy. You're gonna see it try to get pushed down. Maybe it comes down to here, but not looking bad to get set up. You can see as it's coming down, it's not even that hardcore for T-Mobile. So there you go with that one. Thanks, Laptop Travel. Appreciate that because I didn't even know. And there we go with them. And then I'll go ahead, look at the SPY, and I'll go through the Twitter account and see if anybody left anything on there because there are a few. Hold on. Did I skip a few after BNAI? Let me see. You could be absolutely right. Let me look and see where that's even at. Where is BNAI? Where the heck is that even at? You're probably right. I mean, you know me. Let me look and see where it's at. I don't even see it. I know there's that BTAI. Oh, yeah, you're right. I did. Two of them, huh? I went from BNAI right to TEM because I don't remember seeing SGLY either. So that's probably why. STFS. That's that Star Fashion. I thought it was on our list. Yeah, nah, it looks great, guys. I definitely skipped it. Thank you very much there, Barbara. And let's look at the SGLY because I think I skipped that as well. I don't remember seeing this one. Definitely didn't see that one. And that ran up, but has a crazy look. Look at that thing right there. I might have to look at that tomorrow, but just look at it. You could get another little bounce up, but I don't know if I would trust it. Probably look at it and see if it really wants to. Again, it's it's just one of them ones that it could bounce back up, but there's probably better plays to look at the moment for that one. So yeah, thank you, Barbara, for bringing that to my attention because I definitely missed them bad boys. And let's see what else is going on. That APDN we did, VVPR we did. What is PLRZ? Let's see what that is. PLRZ right here. Let me see. Poly Risen. And that's Poly Risen right now, huh? So let's look. PLRZ. Yeah, that looks pretty good as well, guys. Just watch out. It's going to hit that 103 area. It's at 93. It had a nice run up. You might hit it and, just bounce back down to get set up again. But it's hitting this resistance right here. Not looking bad, though, I must say, after today. We keep an eye on that. TSLL, I think that's a Tesla thing, isn't it? Tesla, bull one, yeah, that one's obviously looking good right there. And I know also the other ETF ones were looking good. CLSK and GameStop, we'll go over them. So there you go, final countdown. Thank you for them. And looking for STFS, you got it. Yeah, that thing's looking great, guys. Star Fashion. Keep an eye on this bad boy tomorrow. Look at this thing. Holy shit, it looks really, really good. STFS. We're definitely looking at that thing. Was that not on the list the other day? I kind of remember that thing. But, me and my memory. So, anyway, appreciate that, Barbara, for the heads up. MS, let's look at them banks right there. Morgan Stanley right now and JP Morgan and see what they're up to. Morgan Stanley, you did like them, huh? Luis Rodriguez was all about them. Look at him jumping up into that channel right there. Looking good for Morgan Stanley. I would say it's going to try to run up some more. And I'm assuming all the banks are going to look the same. JP Morgan, probably the exact same. There you go. I mean, not much different, huh? And then the other one was C. Was it Citibank? I have to remember. I think it was Citigroup. That's what it is. And that looks exactly the same. You could give me all three of them charts, and I'd be like, I don't know. They're all the exact. The only thing difference, the prices that they're at. That's what you would have to know if you had to take a test on it because they're all the exact same. And so yeah, you can go with any of them right there. They're not looking too bad, to be honest with you. And the banks, so there you go. It's Citigroup and JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley. Thank you very much right there, Luis Rodriguez. And how about CPOP? Let's see that one. I know it's like a China pop culture thing or something. Let's see. Because I see that pop culture in China. I'm telling you, I can't remember anything, and I can remember that CPOP's a pop culture thing in China. I don't know how it happened. I don't know. It's the wildest thing ever, guys. So it doesn't make sense, but somehow I know. Who the hell would know that? Would even be C-pop? it's insane. I'm telling you, it's the most bizarre thing ever. I would have never known that before. I promise you. I would have never probably even remembered it before. But yeah, it is so strange. I can just remember all of them now. Like, it's like really weird, and it's the only thing I can remember. It's like if I don't relate something to a stock ticker or chart, I just can't remember it. It's so freaking weird. But you guys could see. I mean, look at me on here. It's just wow. Like, who would know that was C-pop, was pop culture? I mean, when's the last time we went over this thing? It's not like I study these things. And yeah, it's just really weird. I'm telling you, I could go on a game show and smoke everybody on stock tickers. It would be insane. I'd be like in the Matrix. We should make a game show. Anyway, here we go. C-pop not looking bad in the after hours. It did say it's running up. I had to look, and again, looks like it's going to try to get up into this channel again. It was pushing up there, so I would say keep an eye on C-pop. It's trying to bounce off. It also has that trend line right there, so in a pretty good spot. We'll look at it in the morning. I'm going to jot it down real quick. C-pop right here to take a better look at it, and that SUNE we looked at, that's looking really good. I'm telling you, that one's probably a big winner for tomorrow. Already said that. And then CDT, we haven't looked at Conduit Pharmaceuticals and that. Yeah, we haven't looked at that in a little while. It was just kept pulling back on us, and they're not reverse splitting. That's what I was looking to see, and I don't see anything. And honestly, that Friday looks like it could be a bottom. There we go, Barb. This could be that move right here that we needed on CDT. And I think you did catch that pop up on this thing on March 4th, I believe, if I remember correctly. But it does look pretty good after that bottom, and maybe we'll get that curl up on CDT again. So we'll look at that one as well. There we are. And Tesla, $73 run up from the 210 call. Yeah, that was pretty nice right there. And what's that? Raytech. Let's look at Raytech right here and see what that's up to. RAY. And it did run up today. Raytech looks like it's trying to curl back up. Let me see these after hours. 107 to 194. It's at 129. It's actually not looking bad, to be honest. I could see Raytech being pretty good. RAY. Didn't we look at Ray not long ago? Or we looked at somebody's name. I don't know if it was Ray or not, but it was definitely somebody. And yeah, that one's not looking too bad. Just watch out around this 150 area where it has that resistance, but not too bad for Ray after it ran up. So you can see he spikes up quite often and then tries to move. So we'll look at, there's a chance, I'll tell you that, MBS right there. There's a chance. RMTI. Let's look at that. And again, you got multiple on Ray. You got that resistance right there. It's got to get up in here to try to really run. And you got that resistance there. So I don't know how hard it's going to run, but it is trying to get set up. We'll look at it. RMTI. Rockwell Medical, this took a nice dip. When were their earnings? On the 20th right there. So they were last Thursday, and that thing's still dipping down. RMTI. And that looks like it's going to be dipping down some more at the moment is what it looks like to me. Truth PhD. So, yeah, that looks like Rockwell Medical looks like it could be pulling back some more is what it looks like to me. DJT, let's look. What is it doing right now? We'll look at it anyway, but it's moving up. It's not even looking bad, actually. It's up 76 cents and trying to get cruising there. It's going to get in this channel and run up and then pull back. You know it's going to roll up, roll down, roll up, roll down. So it's not looking too bad. And let's see, Trump Media shares jump on announcement of ETF deal with Crypto.com. So there you go. And here's a bunch of them for Luis Rodriguez. He has a bunch of them on here. Let me roll through that list real quick. Hold on. And then we'll go through our SPY and our big caps. Let me see. Whoa, what am I doing? I got to put the cursor on the right page. Here we go. TM, what is that? Toyota Motors. We've been watching this thing. It's been running up. It still looks good. You're right, Luis Rodriguez. This does look good still, and it does look like it wants to run up some more tomorrow. WRBY, Warby Parker or something. Looks really good too. Make sure it crosses through, but we know they're doing it now, so they are breaking that pattern, which is nice. So just got to make sure it gets through that 20. It might not do that. We'll keep an eye on it and see, but it obviously could get right up there. It's looking pretty strong, I would say, right there. And how about MSI right here, Motorola? And that one's spiking up. Did we look at this the other day? Motorola. I know we looked at one of these old phone company. Yeah, it was definitely this because I remember it was in the 400s. And it was down right in here, had that weird look, and it was hanging out around 420. And yeah, now it's at 429, and it is moving up there for Motorola, so that's looking good as well. And GCT, that Giga Cloud, and this had come way down, looking much better, trying to get through that 20 in GCT. It does look good right there to continue up. So, yeah, all of these guys that got beaten down, there's so many opportunities right here. How about Adobe? That took a big beating. That's a good one to look at. You're right. Yeah, that's going to get moving up to that 412. It's at 394 right here. So, Adobe looks pretty good to continue its way up as well. HII, I don't know how many eyes I can put on it, but Huntington Ingalls, here we go. This one is curling back up. I know we were looking at this down here, and it spiked up. This was another one that was on Luis Rodriguez's list, and there you go. It is curling off that MACD, and I mean, just follow that pattern right there, guys. It's real simple. ARM is a good one right here, the semiconductor, because that one jumped up. I saw this one today. Remember they had the lawsuit going on? Who was it with? Like Qualcomm or QCOM? I forget who the hell it was with. Anyway, ARM not looking bad. Look at all them weird looks where it was just opening and closing right around the same price, just waiting for something to happen. Like, tell me what to do. And then all of a sudden it popped up today. So they've been, like I said, he's got the market on a light switch right now. And the FANG, look at that thing. So the leverage 3 times FANG, BULZ. Looking really good right there. So if you want to do something leveraged, look at that bad boy, because that looks pretty good to get cruising from that 131 up. So yeah, that one's a good one to look at. And how about Carvana? I just seen them dropping off a car the other day, and we bought a car from Carvana, brand new like Mercedes we bought from Carvana before. So yeah, it's actually pretty cool. They show up on their little cool car thing and just drop it off. And I just seen them dropping one off the other day. I was like, oh shit, there's Carvana. We've been looking at their stock. Anyway, it's up and it jumped up today and it's looking pretty good. So there's Carvana right here, CVNA. And yeah, you'll probably get it right up in there tomorrow. So that's a pretty good jump up, $22 and looking good. Look at these things got way down. I mean, you were trading all the way at 287. We're at 213, and you got a lot of wiggle room and a lot of playing around to do and a lot, like some time. So you're going to get some movement. Oh, this one's another great one. MDB. This was way down there, and this thing's curling up, getting through. We got to keep an eye on that one too, huh? MDB is just a ton of good ones, guys. So that one's really good right there. MDB Mongo. Look at this thing coming up. And 20s all the way up there, like 216. So another good one. And PDYN. I know we looked at that as it was pulling back. And, oh, that's looking really good now. PDYN. Look at that thing. So keep an eye on that. Great list right there, Luis Rodriguez. I'm going to retweet that one out, guys, because that's a great one. And just some really good, solid ones right there to keep an eye on. And I like that. So there we go. And let's see what else is going on. Let me see if I missed anything. I think we got it all. And STFS, that's the one we looked at. That was looking really good, Baby Yago. That's the one I think I skipped, and everybody was like, what are you doing? And I don't blame you for yelling at me, because that thing looks amazing right there, STFS. So yeah, let's definitely keep an eye on that tomorrow morning for sure. And there you go with them messages. And let's just take a look and see what else is going on. I think we got everything. SLDB, I can take a look at that. Lucio, no problem. Let's look at it right now for you. SLDB, here we go. Solid Biosciences. I can actually read that one too. And it's just, honestly, I'll give you a little tidbit right here after I spill water all over myself. But anyway, here you go. When that 20's coming down on it right here, at your 50s underneath, it's not always the best look. You kind of want it to be reversed, where your 20s coming up and your 50s like up, because that's your channel you want. A lot of times this will hold it in there. It can stay in this channel, but you can see a little bit of pullback, as you can tell. Look, you're pulling back right here, and I'll even bring it up a little bit better for you. SL, if I type it in the right way, the right letter combination, and this looks much better here. It looks like it tried to bounce back up, but again, you're going to only get up to this 525, which isn't bad, and it's definitely going to pull it back down. A lot of times when they're rolling up over that 50, that's where you get that movement. So it will trick you. This is that look where that pattern kind of fools you a little bit, because it starts curling up and you think it does look like it wants to run through. Look at it. And but that 20 is going to push it down. So just a little look, and is this a brand new one? Nah, it's not brand new. So yeah, just that's what you're looking at, and I don't know if it's really coming back down to this area, but you're probably going to stick around this 50 area and then see how it gets set up there. So that's what you're looking at on SLDB right there, and that's what I see at the moment. So yeah, you might get back up to that 522, but I think you're going to hover more around this area as it gets set up and tries to get rolling. So there you go for that one. Hope that helps out and helps everybody out. And let's go ahead and look at our SPY, our big caps, and our crypto. I'll do crypto real quick. Bitcoin's at 87,044. Solana's at 140. Ethereum's at 2,066. Ripple's at 243. Doge is at 18. Cardano's at 73. And Chainlink's at 1510 right there. And I know it'll tell me H-bar in a second when I wait for it to scroll up here. And H-bar is at like 19 cents. I'll bring up Bitcoin's chart real quick. You guys can see it. And I already know it's just hanging out. I mean, it's not doing anything crazy. We kind of knew what it was up to, and it's in this channel exactly what we thought was going to happen. Here you go, Lucio. Here's your example. So your 20s under here, your 50s up here. That's the way you kind of want to see it. See how it's reversed like this? Not so great. I'm not saying it doesn't work all the time. You kind of got to wait for these things to meet up, for things to look a little bit better. Just a little experience. Obviously it doesn't hold true for like every single one, but just that's what I see. It jumps out at me. I'll just say that for you. When I see that real quick, and again, you guys see I look at them fast. When I see that, I go, oh, that looks like it's going to come down. Obviously can run up there, but does look like it's going to get pushed down a little bit. So that's what you see right there is Bitcoin. I mean, just kind of flat right there. Nothing crazy, making its way up to this channel, and it's going to bounce around in this channel. So nothing real crazy right there, and we kind of know that. And again, it's a setup period where they're looking a little bit better right now. And yeah, he has this thing on a light switch, guys. Look, these things look exactly the same. Solana in that channel right there. ETH, Ethereum, USD right here in that channel right there. Ripple actually doesn't look too bad. Let me see what I didn't see it in the last little bit, but see, it's over that 50 right there, not looking bad, and it got through the channel. So there you go right there, and that's kind of what you're looking for. What does Cardano even look like at the moment? I didn't even look at it. Let's see. Yeah, Cardano was trying to fight up, and see how that 20 was over top, and now it's coming through. Now you're going to get the right setup on it. You can see it curling up. Cardano is looking much better. It's going to get right up into the 74 area and get moving. And yeah, you can just see that really fast, just like that. So there you go with them bad boys. And if there's any of them in particular that you want to see, let me know. But we kind of know they're just setting up in these channels and going to be bouncing around, which is perfectly fine, guys. So that's kind of what you want to see. So let's go ahead and look at our SPY and our big caps, and then we'll wrap it up here. If I could find the letter P, there it is. Yeah, we know it jumped up there. It was up over $10. I thought I had to close right around here, to be completely honest with you. I'll tell you exactly where on here. What I say, 573.50 is what I think I said today, and that's what it looks like to me. What did I do with it? I know I wrote it. Yeah, 570. I wrote it down. 573.50. It closed right over at 573.83. I said that on the small cap show. If you guys were tuning in, it's a great show. And they also had an interview with a CEO of a company. I forget which company it was. I wrote it down. I just forget what the heck it was. But they would have a crazy, pretty wild product. It's called Evolve. I have it written down right here. But yeah, like it does like birth control on like rodents. So like in the cities and stuff, instead of obviously using poison baits and things like that, they don't seem to work anyway. And this thing just like controls the birth, and they don't really have the longest life term. So yeah, they'll just kind of die out themselves, I guess. And I would imagine, he didn't say it, but I would imagine it's much safer for the predators that eat these animals when you're not feeding them poisons too. So I could imagine that might be a little bit better too as well. So anyway, just interesting. But that was that small cap show today on Wolf and them guys. Great stuff right there. But yeah, our SPY finished right above where it needed to, and it looks pretty good to continue its way up tomorrow. So we will be watching it at 7 a.m. We do our 7 a.m. pre-market show and break it all down, and we go through all this whole list right here in the morning. So here we go with Apple. We'll start it off, and it was up 246. Look where it jumped up to, right up onto that support line right there. Looking good. And it looks like it wants to try to cross through, guys. And again, are they going to hit like these areas and kind of bounce around in channels? Absolutely. You're going to see them curling through. We want to kind of see them get through the MACDs right now. That way they can roll off the MACDs instead of bouncing and coming down. So that's what we're looking for at the moment. Amazon up $7, looking really good right there today, and popped up. And remember, who said Amazon was going to be looking going to be popping off when it was right down here at the 195, 189 area, and it is looking good. I said Amazon and Google look the best, and look at them. They're looking pretty good. I mean, the other ones aren't looking bad, obviously, Tesla and them, but Amazon, they just had that look like they wanted to start rolling, and that's hitting in the channel right there. We'll see if Google gets in. It should tomorrow. Looks like it wants to. And Meta up $22, and this thing, let's see, it's hitting that thing, hitting that 20 and hitting the MACD. It might not be completely ready. We'll have to keep an eye on Meta tomorrow, and maybe it gets a little pullback right here. Nothing crazy. Maybe it just bounces down, comes back, and gets set up for that next one. That's when it'll get through. And again, that's just what it looks like at the moment. And Microsoft had a weird look today. It was like kind of like jumping around. Doesn't look like it really wants to blast off right here, but it's in the right spot to do it. So it looked like it just like got stuck in a spot and didn't know what to do with itself. So that's what it looked like to me. I was like, what's going on with Microsoft today? Everything's trying to move, and they just look kind of lost. NVIDIA looked pretty good as well, and trying to crawl up here and should get up into this channel and then bounce around in there. So if NVIDIA, NVDA, if I type it in, NVDA, there we go. And yeah, you should get up into that 126 area, even possibly tomorrow. So watch these things. That's what you're looking at for your Mag 7 there. And of course, Tesla was moving $30, and it's looking good. Watch it get up into here, and it's going to bounce around and get cruising. So there you go with Tesla, looking very nice. And AMC was looking good, up 4 cents right there. But look at it, it's getting to be in that spot. And I think they have earnings coming up pretty soon, if I remember correctly. But yeah, look at that thing. 307, it opened and closed at. That's pretty wild. But it is trying to... Oh, they just had earnings then. I thought they had something. Whatever, I'm not worrying about it. Anyway, it is looking pretty good to get set up, I would say, in a good spot right there anyway. And GameStop was GameStop had the earnings. I'm sorry, it was my bad. It was GameStop, not AMC. I was getting confused. That's real hard to happen. But anyway, GameStop definitely has their earnings coming up on the 25th, which is tomorrow, and it's hitting that 50. And again, it did run up. I'm not expecting it to bounce up off the earnings. I don't even know what the earnings are going to be. They could smoke everything, and I still think it's going to pull back and stay in this channel. I could be completely wrong, but that's what that looks like, and it usually does. And that's how I kind of play earnings now, is more or less just look at the chart like everything else. And I don't even play them. I just play around them because earnings are just odd to me. I don't even understand it. They beat their earnings. They come down. They don't beat their earnings. They fly. It's just bizarre. And again, I can tell better just by the positioning on the chart what they're going to do. Chewy right here. This has earnings on the 26th, which is Wednesday. And this one just jumped into that channel and wants to kind of bounce around there. So keep an eye on it. It doesn't look that crazy, but it don't look bad either. So that is your Chewy right there, CHWI, and we'll look at it in the morning and get a better idea. And here's that Netflix. I told you guys this thing is going to get cruising. They have earnings out there, so it's not really that close. And it opened and closed at that 970 area. You can see it. It looks weird, but I'm telling you, this thing is going to be at the 1100s before you know it. And that is Netflix. Just watch and see if it has any little pullback, and I don't even know if it will, but it is looking pretty good. AVGO did pull back a hair, and I was just wondering if it's just trying to set up off of here, if it's going to take a dip down here and pop. So we'll look at AVGO. It was looking pretty good this morning. It was run up there and then had a little bit of pullback there, and that MU was up a little bit. And look at that tight channel. And remember, we were looking at it, I said, I don't know, it might dip down. We have to see if it can hold itself. It held itself. It was quite impressive, and now it's going to roll off of there. So MU is going to get set up, it looks like, to get moving. Look at that thing. I mean, it's like a chopstick grabbing that bad boy, and now you're going to get it smoking back up. So pretty impressive move right there for MU. I liked it. I was looking at it today going, wow, that was nice. And TSM, that one was moving up and looking good, and we thought it was off of that support line right there once it got set up on the support. And look at that. You should get moving up there as well on TSM. And let's see what our SMCI is doing, because it was down. But look at this thing getting set back up, guys. So just be patient with it. It might not go. It could actually go cruising tomorrow or the next day. Just the way, look at that thing. It's trying to roll right off of there and probably get crossed through. SMCI not looking bad. And AMD, we were all over that. Guys, how perfect did we play this thing right there, guys? At what, 97 to 113? I mean, that's a beauty right there. And look at it. It wants to continue its way up to here. And you got that resistance at 119. So that was gorgeous right there. And let's take a look and see. That was AMD. And that QCOM, that was up $3 and looking good. Look at it, right back into that channel, looking pretty good. Made a solid base, and there you go. Look at it getting up to that 164. It will. And good old Intel right here was down a little bit, but this thing's just getting set up. Watch for it to pull back. See, it's trying to roll off. You might get a little bit of pullback right there with Intel. INTC, nothing crazy though, but just a little bit of pullback. And let's look at PayPal right there, PYPL. This has been getting set up for a while, and then I saw it up today, but it didn't look that crazy. But now let me look at it in the after hours. It has that look like it popped up and wanted to pull back, opened and closed right there. And a lot of these opening and closing in the same spot. You know how I don't like it, but we'll look at PayPal in the morning. I'll get a better idea. And good old Snow is going up, and it looks like it wants to pop up to that 171. So Snow looking pretty good right there. There's your blue screen. I do it like once a night, but yeah, Snow looking really good. Probably just gonna blast right through that. Whatever they're doing right there. And yeah, Snow, I like it. So keep an eye on that Snow. I mean, all of them are looking really good right now. We were just watching for them to get that move and really get into this channel. That's what you wanted to see. And Dell did it now. So Dell's looking better. Look at that, curling back up, going to get into there, that 105 area. So, I mean, you can just see exactly what they're going to do. Good old Palantir. Remember we said that was bottomed out and getting ready to roll. You're getting ready to roll with PLTR. So if you were listening, we said this last night, the last couple of shows we've been saying that. And Sophie getting moving right there. You're going to hit some hard resistance right there and come back, but Sophie's trying to get rolling. And again, like I said, you're going to hit that resistance. And good old Meritor getting set up. Look at this thing. Remember, we were talking about how great they were looking. And there you go, guys. So these things are looking good, and you're going to get it running up some. hit that resistance, come back down, get set up, because they're not exactly ready to get rolling yet, but they are looking much better. Look at Riot right there. We did exactly what we were saying. Get into that channel, and there you go. It can get moving into that 10 area. So there you go at Riot, and even CLSK, that was looking good today. Look at this thing popping up there. So all of them looking great. And obviously MicroStrategy or Strategy, that was popped up there, and we knew that was running up because he held himself up there, and we just kind of knew. And I said something's going on here, and look at this thing. It's getting popped up, and Strategy's about to run. So keep your eye on that one, and let's cruise right through the rest of them. Coinbase was up really nice, and also Robinhood was up. That's hitting that resistance, so we'll see what it wants to do tomorrow with Robinhood, but could just stay in that channel like I was saying, hitting that resistance, but not too bad. And then we did look at DJT, and again, it's hitting that 20, but not looking too bad. And Fun is trying to get set up. It jumped over to 20. Look at it right there, and not looking bad for good old Fun to get set up and have some fun. Look at that thing. Boom. Told you it just jumped right over that 20, exactly where you want to see them. And that Mountain was up $1, and that's got a nice little channel going for it right now. And how about McDonald's up a little bit, not exactly ready, and we'll see. I think it might be pulling back to that 300 area. It's at 305, so we'll keep an eye on McDonald's. And Boeing was up a little bit more, but I don't think it's going to run up into the top, to be honest with you. I think they're coming back down to get set up, so be careful with that. It did run up, and good old Space was back down. I'm telling you, this company is just kind of not the greatest anymore. It used to be much better, Virgin Galactic, and now it's just not doing what it used to do. That's for damn sure. So that's SPCE and SPCE and Rivian right here. Let's look at it. Oh, we look at IBM. We already looked at Rivian, and IBM was up today, and another one, look at it. It's at 20's coming down. I don't think it's exactly ready just yet on it, but we'll keep an eye on it and see. We'll see if it could pop up, and again, it doesn't hold true all the time. It gets up to the 252. It'll curl back up and move it. So that is IBM right there. And let's take a look and see what Disney, wasn't that, it was up today, curling up. I know it was down the other day. I thought it was down. Let me look at this thing. 99 to 100. It was down to 98, and it closed at 100. So it opened and closed kind of similar spot right there, a couple 5 cents off. Curling up. I'll have to look at Disney tomorrow to get a better idea. It could curl through. It's just a coin flip right there on Disney. You can't exactly tell. And how about Oxy was just kind of, look at this thing, just in this channel right here, making a base. I think it's getting ready to get curled up there. So I think Oxy's going to be looking much better. And the same with ExxonMobil. We'll pop that in XOM. Running up right there, and I think you're getting curled up. Could pull back a little bit, so watch for any dips, but I do think ExxonMobil's not looking bad as well. And how about Nike right here? That was pulling back, right? Nike was pulling back, not Disney. I'm sorry. Nike was definitely the one that was and this one could be trying to bottom out. Look at it on that support line right there. And but yeah, I don't think it's ready yet. So Nike, I think, is going to be hanging out down there. And DXYZ, that Destiny Tech is running up, hitting that resistance. Watch it get in here, get over that 50, and it's going to blast off. So that's what you're watching for DXYZ. And another one, I don't believe they have options, so you can't do that with that one either. So there you go. And they are your big caps and them guys. And Esco's exclusive or something like that. BDTX, let me see what that's up to real quick. BDTX, Black Diamond Therapeutics, and that one just kind of pulling back at the moment, it appears. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like it's pulling back. I'll look at it tomorrow. Maybe we get that roll-off look, but it doesn't exactly look like it. It ran up right there pretty good, to be honest with you. I'd have to look at BDTX tomorrow, but it does look like it's pulling back a little bit. We'll have to see as it hits that MACD if it rolls off, so you can remind me of that one. And HIMS right here, that one had pulled back a little bit after it ran up over the 70s, and that one's going to get set up, so that's another good one right there. Good eye on that, Luis Rodriguez. I like that one right there. Hims, that's looking good. So yeah, a ton of good ones, guys. There are a bunch of them, and SLDB, we did look at that one. I just went over that a few times there, Lucio. So there you go with that one. And let's see what else is going on over here. Let me see if I missed anything. MicroStrategy, yeah, didn't they acquire? They hit a number 500. Oh, what is it? 506,137 Bitcoin. They have at what, $66,000 per Bitcoin or something. Yeah, it's kind of crazy right there for MicroStrategy. They've been acquiring it, that's for sure. So there you go with that. And I think I got everything on the messages and on there. I think I did. And yeah, if you didn't hear SLDB, I actually went through that like really good right there. SLDB. What did I even say? I don't remember what I said, but I know I went through it. Oh, yeah, that 20 was pushing it down. So if you didn't hear me, go back and just listen. I just did it like a couple minutes ago, right at the end of the show, and I explained everything about that chart and kind of that setup right there. So there you go with that. And I would say that's a pretty good market review right there. Just like right in that 2-hour time frame. Not bad. Let's see. Asian stocks give up tariff-led gains. China drags. Asian stocks rise on easing tariff worries. And the Dow and S&P 500. NASDAQ futures waver with Trump tariff. Yeah, Trump tariff moves in focus. And then the Dow gains nearly 600 points on the tariff optimism. And the stock futures are a little changed after major averages post back-to-back gains. Let's see what's going on over here real quick, and then we'll wrap up the show. MLGO, I'm telling you, watch that thing in the morning, guys. It's going to get cruising. DMN, we went through. TSLL, that's just the Tesla ETF looking good. There's your Ford and all these bad boys that we've gone to. Palantir, QBTS, and this one's not too bad. Treasure Global, TGL. This one was getting set up. Look at it. It ran up a little bit today. We'll look at it again tomorrow. It wasn't looking too bad. I know that. Yeah, it did run. I'll have to look at it because it doesn't show it right there, obviously, does it? No, it didn't get up to... Yeah, it does say 18. Go figure. Anyway, that one did run today, so I'd have to look at it. I was looking at it today. There's your Lucid moving back up. Holo, Intel, and what's DNB? Dun and Bradstreet. It's all right. I wouldn't chase that one around. We had VVPR and Neo dipping down there, so nothing too crazy that we don't already know. And we already know these. That DNN, that one's setting up to get moving in that channel. AMD and that plug. That one's just kind of been dipping. This one's looking pretty good again. BBAI, guys, so keep an eye on that. Look at that coming off the bottom and going to get running up there for the big bear. And RGTI and that SUNE, I'm telling you, keep an eye on that thing tomorrow. That one's looking great as well. And keep an eye on this AGMH as well. Did we look at it? I don't remember if I added it to the list tonight, but this was another one that we've been looking at, and another one to definitely keep an eye on right there for AGMH. And there's your China large cap one, right? Yeah, that's coming down. Pfizer's getting set up. I don't know what they're up to. And let's just see if there's anything going on over here that we didn't see. That's brand new. I don't see anything catching my attention just yet right there. And we already looked at that. And boom, that one we looked at as well. And oh yeah, that 23andMe. Holy cow, I hope you never used that company before, because they're probably going to get, some China company is going to come in and buy all that data up. You almost know that's going to happen. So I'd be careful with all that, because That could be bad, honestly. They're going into bankruptcy. They should just make that company just like fry all their products and everything should just go into like a melting pot. So yeah, that's not a good situation for them. Hoo-hoo, remember this one, guys? Remember we were talking about Hoo-hoo? Look at it. It's been running up the last 2 days. We had it on the list the other day, and I even said keep an eye on that Hoo-hoo. and kind of laughed about it. But there you go, no laughing there, because it was running on Hoo and GDHG looking good. So yeah, I think we pretty much got everything that we're going to see. I don't see anything else jumping out and grabbing my attention. Let me see what's on StockTwits real quick, because we usually see something good on there. And MLGO, OKLO, didn't we look at that one? Okay, no, we did not look at that one. That one's in that channel getting moving too, so keep an eye on that. Couple crypto coins. Let me not pop onto that. ATOM, that's going down. And let's see. ATOM, what's up with this thing? Yeah, it's dipping down there, so that looked like it was dipping. Rumble looks like it's trying to get set up here. Let's see what Rumble's up to. They have some earnings coming up soon. That would be tomorrow for Rumble, so we'll have to sit back and watch what Rumble's going to do for their earnings. And let's see what else is here. GameStop, we know. GS, Goldman Sachs, didn't we look at them? Yeah, with the other guys, and that looks pretty good. KBH, what's that? That's dipping down, whatever it is. KB Home, and I guess they had some bad earnings or something right there. CSIQ, I'm not sure what that is either. CSIQ. Canadian Solar, that looks like it's dipping. And CRMD, is that, I don't know what that is either. That one looks pretty wild. They have earnings, so we'll have to look at it later. And let's just take a look and see real quick what's going on real fast right here. Delta, isn't that? Yeah, Delta Airline not looking bad. That's not looking bad. SNA, whatever this is, looks pretty good too. CHTR. So you guys can just kind of look at this scanner real quick and come back to the thing, and I'll just scroll down. You guys can go back and look at the feed and look at it. There's Uber. Uber's running up right there. DOC, Health Peak. Look at that thing. That one looks healthy. So, yeah, all them bad boys probably going to be pretty decent ones. COOO. And I'll tell you what these guys look like, the smaller cap ones. AEI, that one looks pretty good right there. And ACHV, ACAN, we've looked at this before. CUE, and yeah, a bunch of them, guys. So there are, look at them all. I mean, tons of them right there. You can tell the markets are getting better when there's that many popping up, that's for sure. That VNCE we looked at's hitting the line. There's your TNON right there, and Toro's right there. And let's see what else. Yeah, you'll notice we know that SIDU, City of Space right there. Seed right there. And JOB, G Group, what's that at? 21 cents. Not looking bad right there. I know we traded that one before. MFI looking a little better as well. So yeah, look at all these guys that are looking good. There's your IMTE on there. And yeah, there you go. So you take a look at them guys and see what's up with the scanner and what's going on right there. So there you go, everybody. I'd say that's a pretty good market review for sure. And we have a ton of them that are really set up looking good for tomorrow. So I expect it to be another pretty good day with some nice poppers. So we'll be watching the market. We'll be on at 7 a.m. We will definitely go through our Joey's jumpers and our laptop lowdowns. And, of course, our crypto, our SPY, our big caps. And we'll see what's going to be popping tomorrow. So there you go, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I greatly appreciate everybody hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the show. Let me know what you think. If you're not following along, follow along on X and YouTube and all them great channels as well. And there you go, everybody. I hope you have a great night. And again, all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. I will catch you guys at 7 a.m. So have a good night, everybody. And I'll see you guys in the morning at 7 a.m. See you guys. I just have to end this thing. It always takes me a couple seconds to figure out how to end it if I remember. But yeah, have a good night, and I'll catch you guys at 7. See yous.